most recent update regarding the Equalizer 4 suggests that Denzel Washington will not reprise his role as Robert McCall, following his apparent conclusion in the Equalizer 3. While the third installment was initially marketed as the final collaboration between Denzel and director Antoine Fuqua for this series, its positive reception and financial success have reignited speculation about the franchise's future. There have been ongoing discussions about the possibility of Denzel Washington returning for the lead role in the Equalizer 4, and Fuqua's latest statement indicates that the decision ultimately lies with the star, giving him a significant influence in the project's direction. Well before any concrete details about the story of the Equalizer 4 were discussed, director Antoine Fuqua addressed the potential for a sequel while promoting the Equalizer 3. He emphasized that the third installment was intended to be the conclusion of the franchise, but he also made it clear that he'd be open to making another if Denzel Washington, the lead actor, agreed to it. These comments suggest that Denzel Washington's decision will play a significant role in determining whether the Equalizer 4 becomes a reality. It raises hope among some that Denzel might return for another installment, potentially earning a substantial paycheck, but past remarks from the actor indicate that this is unlikely. Fuqua said, "I believe this would be it. We've both talked about it that way, but you never know. Listen, Denzel's in shape. He's training every day. If you saw him now, it would blow your mind. He's like 60 pounds lighter, even from the Equalizer. He's really healthy. Yeah, it's up to him. Obviously, if he wanted to do another one, I would as well, but I don't see it, but who knows." It's not surprising to learn that Denzel Washington is delivering a strong performance in the Equalizer 3. If you've already seen the film, you'll notice that while his character may initially be depicted as somewhat battered, the actor himself is at the top of his game and shows great enthusiasm for taking down adversaries. However, it's worth noting that sequels are not typically Denzel Washington's usual choice. In fact, before The Equalizer 2, he had never participated in a sequel. His career has largely focused on establishing himself as one of the finest actors in the industry, making a return for a third film quite unusual for him. The prospect of a fourth installment might be stretching the boundaries of what he typically does. Nevertheless, it's important to mention that he is set to play a significant role in Gladiator 2 when it is released. However, this doesn't fit the traditional sequel mold in his filmography because he wasn't part of the original Gladiator movie. So, according to his own career standards, it's not considered a sequel for him. So, should Equalizer 3 be the last one? But wait, before I dive deeper into the Equalizer franchise, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates. Both of the previous two Equalizer movies achieved strong box office results, with the first and its sequel each earning just over $100 million. While the box office opening for the Equalizer 3 is predicted to be somewhat lower than its predecessors, it is expected to reach a similar total gross in the end. This suggests that there is a consistent level of audience interest in the action franchise, making it likely that if a fourth film is made, it wouldn't take much effort to get audiences excited and engaged. Considering that Denzel Washington is approaching the age of 70, there comes a point where it might become less plausible for him to convincingly portray a character who takes on numerous criminals with incredible precision. While it's true that actors like Liam Neeson, who is 71 years old, continue to star in action films, their newer works may not capture the same excitement as their earlier hits like Taken in 2009. The Equalizer 3 is poised to be distinct from its earlier installments in several ways, positioning itself as a conclusion to the series. Notably, it departs from the gloomy East Coast settings of the first two movies, instead showcasing the picturesque Amalfi Coast. In addition, the character Robert McCall appears to have found a potential romantic interest in this film, and he has made new friends. Given the significant amount of violence and action in the previous films, it appears that McCall might deserve a more optimistic and peaceful ending in the Equalizer 3, rather than being drawn back into retirement for more confrontations in a potential Equalizer 4. This signals a shift in tone and direction for the character and the franchise. On the other hand, director Antoine Fuqua reveals that Denzel Washington had more of a romantic subplot in an early cut of the Equalizer 3, but these scenes were cut. It was a betrayal. Throughout the Equalizer franchise, Robert McCall remains a mysterious character, but the first two movies offer glimpses into his past. It's revealed that McCall faked his own death to be with Vivian, a woman who later becomes his wife. Unfortunately, Vivian passes away, and the first film story begins with McCall taking on the task of completing her unfulfilled mission of reading the 100 books that everyone should read. Vivian's death plays a pivotal role in shaping McCall's character in the movies. Her passing leads him to dedicate his life to fighting for those who are unable to defend themselves, and he metes out his own brand of justice to those who harm the innocent. Even though Vivian never makes a physical appearance in the films, her presence and influence have a significant impact on the franchise and on McCall's entire worldview and mission. It's understandable why test audiences might have reservations about seeing McCall engage in a potential romantic relationship with Amina. However, it's plausible that Vivian, McCall's late wife, would have wanted him to find happiness with someone else after her passing. Including such a scene could have addressed concerns related to McCall's flirtatious behavior. Nevertheless, it's important to note that the previous films in the Equalizer franchise have not primarily centered on McCall's romantic life. Director Antoine Fuqua's decision to maintain the focus on the McCall character that audiences are familiar with aligns with the series' established tone and themes. Talking about the cast, one potential casting option for the Equalizer 4 could involve Dakota Fanning, who co-stars as Emma Collins in the Equalizer 3. Emma is the goddaughter of McCall's former handler, Susan Plummer, and her existing ties to McCall could make her a suitable character to continue the narrative, and potentially assume a leading role in the absence of Denzel Washington. But why isn't the Equalizer 4 happening yet? Speculating about the possibility of a fourth film in the Equalizer series might seem a bit early, but it's common for movie studios to plan well ahead in their development process. For instance, Lionsgate announced John Wick 5 in 2020, with intentions to shoot the fourth and fifth films in quick succession, although this didn't materialize as planned. Some successful series, like Back to the Future, had films shot back-to-back. Similarly, the final book in the Twilight saga was adapted into 2 films, filmed simultaneously. However, the Equalizer franchise takes a different approach, with significant gaps between each film. The first movie came out in September 2014, the second in July 2018, and the third Equalizer in September 2023, 9 years after the original film. This staggered release schedule suits the storyline, which follows a man trying to escape his past. While this structure could set up a fourth film nicely, it lacks the fast-paced energy seen in franchises like John Wick. As a result, it's uncertain whether a fourth film will be made. Considering this timeline, the release date for The Equalizer 4 is likely to be several years away, possibly not until 2025 or later. As we wrap up our exploration of the Equalizer franchise, it's clear that the future of the series hangs in the balance. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Are you excited about the prospect of The Equalizer 4, or do you think it's time to let the franchise conclude with a memorable ending? What direction would you like to see the franchise take? Share your thoughts in the comments section.